Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Fasting Pharmacist weight loss journey, which will one day no longer be a weight loss journey. We are welcoming back a guest again. This is his second appearance on the Fasting Pharmacist, and this is my brother Dave. Dr. Dave, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So he's a medical doctor. For those of you who are new, just a little blip about me. I'm a registered pharmacist, and I am on a mission to lose 100 pounds, and I've lost about 45. Actually, by the time we air this video, I don't know the number, so you'll have to watch my other videos, right?
That's right.
And he's a doctor. He's 60 years old. I'm 46. We have two other siblings in between our family of four. And anyways, he's going to be here today, and we are going to talk about a subject. I always start my videos, I try to, with an inspirational quote, and we end with a public service announcement from your pharmacist. Today, we're going to do an inspirational quote by my brother. He likes Jordan Peterson. Mm-hmm. Tell us who that is, because I didn't know who it was.
Jordan Peterson is a clinical psychologist from Canada who has been very recently got a lot of public attention, and he wrote a book called 12 Rules for Life. And it's an excellent book. I thought I would quote one of the names of his chapters.
Great.
And in this chapter, which chapter 2, treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping.
Let's hear that one more time.
Treat yourself like you are...
Your phone.
Yeah. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping.
Treat yourself like someone you are.
Such if you are responsible for taking care of one of your children,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you treat yourself as well as you would have treated someone else who needs your help.
You ever treat somebody better if it's not you?
Oh, almost everyone does that.
Yeah. Like when I'm filling a prescription and it's like for my boss's newborn baby, I think, oh my gosh, this better be so perfect.
Well, this is something that mothers do all the time. They will run themselves ragged and do things for their children and don't take enough time
Exactly.
for themselves. And if they get stressed out, it has an influence on everyone around them. So
Did our mom ever get very stressed?
all the time.
Did we ever hear loud yelling?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the inspirational quote we talked about was by Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist from Canada. So those of you watching from Canada, you're going to know exactly who that is. Now, today's little video is going to be about hobbies and living a balanced lifestyle for optimal health. And it seems kind of like a no-brainer to most of us. Like, why is it important to have a hobby? And let's just ask you, do you have a hobby? And if you do, put it in the comments below, because I want to know about it. I've spent a lot of years working on my education, working on raising my children, working, and I sometimes think, do I have a hobby? Or there's a phrase like, that person needs to get a hobby.
Yes.
Let's talk about you and your hobbies, because there's a lot.
Well, one hobby that we both share that you must have forgotten about is singing.
That's a hobby.
I know that you like to sing karaoke.
That's true. We were in a band together. I didn't know karaoke was a hobby. I thought
Sure.
people looked down on that. Like you're never supposed to say it on a dating website that you do karaoke.
Really?
I guess. Anyone out there want to comment?
Are you on a dating website?
No. God, no.
Oh. Well, that's what I did, and that's how I met my wife. So.
Never was. No.
They're not all bad.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you met your wife on a dating website?
That's right. That's right. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, we'll do a video about that. Dating websites. How they affect
Well,
their
it's
health.
not like I have a lot of experience, but
Well, I do.
You know.
Not like that.
All right, it might be too much information.
Yeah, TMI.
So what were we talking about? Hobbies?
Yeah, we're going to talk about hobbies and living a balanced lifestyle for optimal health, and you have a lot of hobbies.
I have a lot of
Almost
hobbies.
too many.
Never. But, I've met a lot of people in medicine who seem to have no hobbies outside of their work, their medicine. All they want to do is work.
And also eat or drink or smoke.
Well, that's not really
Habits.
a
Those are
hobby.
habits.
Those are
Yeah.
bad habits. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is they sometimes neglect their families because they're, so
Working
focused
too
on
much? Yeah.
one thing,
Yeah.
and they sometimes get stressed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that I don't know if it's just my personality to have had so many wide interests, or if it's just ADD. That I focus on one thing and then look this over
Squirrel,
here.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I've been lucky to inherit some musical talent, some artistic talent, and also had a very mathematical mind, and so I'm interested in science and logic.
And nature.
And yeah, that wouldn't necessarily seem to go together, mathematics and nature, but there's some things where they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've developed a hobby that kind of reminds me of combining two of my hobbies. One of them is family history and genetics, and so the genealogy. And then my other hobby of gardening has got me fascinated with genetics too. I've taken the hosta, which is a super common plant around here. Most people know of that as the one that has white edges, or the green one, or the blue one. But there's thousands of different varieties, and I found that I could crossbreed different kinds, take their seeds, and develop new hybrids that have characteristics from both parents.
Which is dealing with DNA,
Yeah,
genes, genetics,
right.
all of it.
Yep.
And this is getting into the math part of things?
That's getting into the family history part of things.
Okay.
But it's scientific.
It is scientific.
It's artistic because you're observing
traits.
You're observing traits. If it's a
Expression.
plant, you're looking at the color of the leaf, you're looking at how wavy the edges, you're looking at how tall the plant stands up. Does it have red in it? Is it got variegation? All these things.
Is it a wavy edge or a smooth edge,
Right.
or is it little or huge?
Dull?
Or
Is it
tiny?
waxy? Is it shiny? There's all kinds of different traits, and you can imagine two plants as if they're parents, and you can say, boy, I like this little tiny one, I wish it was blue. And then you could take a big blue one and put the pollen on the flower of a little green one and get a little blue one. And
so cool.
And there's a lot of luck of the draw and chance that happens with that.
Trial and error.
Well, it's trial and error, but genetics, if you take a little green hosta and you have a big blue plant, you could get a big green hosta, a little green hosta, a little blue hosta, or a big blue hosta.
Is it any different than mixing a really big tall person with a really tiny little person?
Yes, you get all sizes. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I look at with the plants, and I tie that into my family history hobby because I started looking for traits being passed down, for us to look at each other and say, oh, you look like you're related to me? I don't think so. But other people will come and see us and say, oh yeah, I can definitely see that you're related.
Like you and me, you're saying, or just in general, one will say, well, you look like me, or
I'm saying you and I, or me, Lisa, or...
I think we have some similar
Well, we
traits.
do, but I'm just saying it's really hard for you to see it when you're up close and personal. But
other
when I
people-
start looking at old photographs of our grandparents, I can look at Grandpa, Jackson, and he really didn't look like anybody that I recognize.
Is he even related?
And Grandma, I didn't think
No.
she looked like anyone in particular. But when I look at Dad's
Oh, yeah.
parents, I see
Like
similarities in shapes
Oh,
of their
yeah,
faces,
yeah.
the shape, the way the eyes are.
The eyebrows,
And-
yeah.
And so, we didn't really know that many people on that side of the family, but I think the people on the Jackson side thought we looked very much like Dad, not
Yeah.
much like Mom.
I've always thought I looked exactly like my dad, and I saw a picture of his dad the other day, and I was like, that looks like me. I mean, it was the same shaped face, the eyebrows, the eye color, the cheek. It was like, it was scary. It was weird. And I had a doctor correct me once because I said my daughter is just so much. I said she has so much DNA from me. I meant to say like she looks like me. I should have worded it differently, but the doctor kind of rudely corrected me and said, hey, she has exactly 50% DNA from her father and her mother. Get it right. And I just felt really stupid, but we all really do have 50% DNA.
From the parents.
And do you know how many people out there don't understand what 23andMe means, or any of those things? They don't know what that 23 means. Explain what that is to the general public.
Well, you have 23 chromosomes from each parent. 22 are autosomal, and the other one is the sex chromosome, your X or Y. So men have an X from their mother and a Y from their father, whereas women have both X chromosomes, one from their father and one from their mother. So you can tell where the Y came from. My Y came from my dad, which came from his dad, which came from his dad, and so on. So everybody with the same last name as me, if there was, fidelity in the family, should all have the same. Should always
Yeah.
have the same Y chromosome, and we found through our DNA testing that we've matched chromosomes in the paternal line
Yeah.
with people who are eighth cousins, going back
Wow.
almost 300 years.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Where were we going with that?
Well, the interesting question we were asking about health was, I asked him, some of us don't know our family history, and I feel like the first thing I have to do is fill out a chart that says, what's your family history, right at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Why would a doctor need to know my family history about anything? Like, what diseases would matter? Because
Well,
what if you didn't know your family history? There's
Yeah.
people out there that don't know who their dad is.
Well,
The mom didn't even know.
I've had to take care of patients who were adopted and didn't know their family history. When
There's
you don't,
nothing
when
you
you
can
don't
do.
know, you just ignore that part. But if you do know, sometimes you get clues as to what are the chances that the chest pain you're having today is a heart attack versus arthritis.
Wouldn't it matter more with like schizophrenia or Tay-Sachs disease or certain diseases that you
Yeah.
kind of need to know a history? Like what diseases, what you were saying before?
Yeah. Well,
Tay-Sachs, schizophrenia.
sure.
I'm trying to think of where you'd like
Like cystic fibrosis.
cystic fibro. Yeah, where you really need to know.
Sickle cell anemia.
So is that why people get gene testing?
Well, that's not why I did it, but
Oh.
some people are doing it.
When
for that
people are
reason.
saying I have to go for medical gene testing, why are they doing that?
Everybody has their own reason for it.
Okay.
No one
They
has
usually
to do
say,
it.
"Well, my doctor said I should get gene tested for this."
I've heard of
disease."
that for women getting pregnant.
That's who's telling me.
You
People
know.
that are getting pregnant,
Yeah.
and I don't know why they need to get gene tested.
Well, you
What are
can,
they
you
afraid
can
of?
test for some diseases by doing amniocentesis and checking.
And what are you looking for? Down syndrome? What is it?
There's a lot of different things, but I don't
Okay.
order those kind of tests, so I.
Because that's
I'm
not the kind of doctor you are.
And they weren't doing that when I was having kids, so.
Mhm.
And my kids are 27, 29 years old, so.
Pretty old.
No, very old. So, but the medical history is sometimes helpful, but most of the time not that big a deal. And it really is most useful to know what your parents have had, if they're diabetics in the family.
But if you can't figure it out, and somebody walks in off the street and says, "I don't know my parents," you're still going to treat them the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Right.
Yeah. So talk about, you touched upon hobbies. We're going to try to wrap this up a little bit so we don't go too long, but why is it important for you to take care of yourself, going back to your beginning quote?
Mhm.
Why do you treat
You don't-
yourself with your
Well,
hobbies,
you
and
need
why
to
is it
be-
important to have a hobby?
You need to be, well, having hobbies just gives you a way to stay non-stressed. So it's part of taking care of your own mental health, really.
Yeah.
And if you're happy, you're going to be a better person to be around for your family, your spouse, your children. And
And your overall health and longevity, right? I mean,
I don't know about longevity, but it's your mental health, you know,
Mhm.
and the way you feel is going to affect the people around you.
Mhm.
The way they feel, it starts to spread. You know,
Mhm.
if I'm grumpy all the time and you have to live with me,
Mhm.
you're going to leave the house with a bad attitude. You're going to take care of a customer at the pharmacy who might rub you the wrong way, and you might say something nasty to them.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, you lose your job.
Mhm.
And
There's a ripple effect.
there can be a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so if I can take a good attitude and be upbeat and positive,
Mhm.
and I'm around you a lot, you're probably gonna
Mhm.
just naturally feel better
Mhm.
without even realizing it, and then you're gonna be nice to other people around you, and
Mhm.
the same kind of ripple effect can go a long way.
And we're going to talk down the road about gardening quite a bit, because that's one of his expertise and his wife.
Mhm.
But we're going to talk about, why is gardening healthy? I mean, can you name, like, just right off the top of your head, name 3 reasons why it's good to garden, just from
Well,
benefits.
for me,
Benefits.
it strengthens you because you're carrying mulch around, you're
So
digging holes,
muscle
you're-
strength.
muscle strength.
That's physical
right.
activity. Okay,
Right, you're
that's number 1.
getting a lot of fresh air,
Fresh air.
as long as you're not in a polluted place,
Oh, yeah.
you know. And then it just gives you a better appreciation for artistic beauty.
Mhm. I find gardening for me gives me a sense of purpose. I think we all need a purpose in something in our lives besides just existing. It gives me a sense of accomplishment,
Mhm.
and it gives me something to look forward to. It's just all around good. And yeah, I get exercise, running back and forth, raking, picking up sticks, all that stuff.
Sure.
You go and look at your Fitbit, you just got, what, 14,000 steps yesterday? Delivering mulch.
11 for me.
11,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like 5-6 miles.
Yeah. So,
exercise. There was a
We
week
did.
you
But
said
you're also caring for living things, which is
Yeah,
some people
well,
don't
that's-
always think of.
Mhm.
These plants are alive and they benefit from the things you do for them.
is it a symbiotic relationship?
It is.
Mhm.
They help us, we help them.
So, anything else before I wrap it up with the
I
public
think you
service
should go with your
So-
public service announcement now.
This public service announcement from your pharmacist seems very fitting because we talked a little bit about what we were going to say. This is the analogy of when you're on an airplane and the pilot or the stewardess says, or the flight attendant,
You're getting your instructions.
you're being
Before you-
told, in the case of a crash, this is what you do with your oxygen mask. If you notice, moms or dads, there's single dads out there, they tell you first to put the oxygen mask on yourself so that you are able to take care of the person sitting next to you, which is your child. But all of us want to put that mask on our child first. But if you're taking too long to do that,
You could pass out.
you could pass out and they're never even going to get the mask. So you take care of you first, and then you take care of them. And that's kind of what we're trying to say
That's
here.
the theme
is-
of today's.
That's the theme of today's talk is hobbies, living a balanced lifestyle for optimal health, and take care of you so that it will have a ripple effect into everybody else in your life.
Yep.
Everybody. So thanks for joining. Thanks for liking and subscribing. We're going to have more videos. We have a lot to talk about, so take care.